everyone, I'm Nguyen from You Speak English. In this video, you are going to learn how to improve your English pronunciation. And at the end of this video, I'll give you a link to a web page that contains free pronunciation exercises. First of all, why it is so hard for you and I to improve our English pronunciation? Well, one of the reasons is that we can't make some sounds in English because those sounds are not present in our native languages. So when we speak English, we will place those difficult sounds to some other sounds that we can make. And that's why we mispronounce words all the time. So the first step to improve our English pronunciation is to learn how to make those sounds in English correctly. So how do you do that? Well, one way to do that is to find some pronunciation exercises for each sound and just practice. And after you practice making all the sounds, you will have the perfect pronunciation. Now, I really wish it was that simple, but it's not. There is a problem, and this problem is the sounds in English are very similar to each other. Why is that the problem? Well, unlike babies, adults don't have the ability to distinguish between two different sounds in the foreign language. So when we hear two different sounds in English, if those sounds are similar, our brain may perceive those sounds as the same. So that's why learning to make each sound separately may not work. In the past, I couldn't hear the difference between those sounds. So to me, the word cheap and sheep sounded the same. And if I did an exercise teaching how to pronounce those sounds, I would mispronounce all of them. And I would believe that I was pronouncing those words correctly, even though it wasn't true. If you can't hear the difference between two sounds, how can you make each sound correctly? So what should you do? Fortunately, there is a method for overcoming this problem, and the method is based on study research. Fortunately, there is a method for overcoming this problem. And this method is based on a number of research studies. These studies suggest that if you have trouble differentiating between two words or two sounds, the best way to Unfortunately, there is a method for overcoming this problem, and this method is based on a number of research studies. These studies suggest that if you have trouble differentiating between two words or two sounds, the best way to train your brain to recognize the difference is to listen to the words at the same time. I mean, not exactly at the same time, but you listen to one word right after the other. If you listen to the words at the same time, you are more likely to notice the difference. And after you notice the difference, you can then practice pronouncing those words. These days, there are many free pronunciation exercises that apply this idea. Those exercises contrast one word with another. And thanks to this method, I was able to fix most of my pronunciation mistakes. And now my pronunciation is much better. Alright, now it's time for you to improve your pronunciation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. See you next time.